And I think we're live.
Okay, great.
Hello, Paloma. Hello. Thank you for
Hello.
joining me.
Thank you, Ryan. It's a pleasure to be with you in this together in this live. You're from Madrid and I'm from Mexico. So thank you for this invitation.
Well, I appreciate it. It's special for me because I don't know if you know. I know you just joined the group, but that this is a fairly new group, like it's like 2 weeks old. And I have done, I think, 1 or 2 lives, but I haven't done any lives with anyone else that's in the group. And one of the big, dreams that I've had about this group, because I visualized the group and I visualized what I wanted the purpose and the objective of the group to be, was to highlight successful group members that are implementing funnels. And me and you have been connected for a while. I've been following your successes, and I see what you're doing on social media, and I see you on LinkedIn. And it occurred to me that you would be the perfect type of person to give us feedback on your overall experience. I mean, I just want to have a very, down-to-earth general conversation, but that's why I reached out and contacted you, because you've been killing it. You look like you're doing great and that you've got a lot of great success to share, but also you fit a really great profile. And that is because you are in the consulting and coaching space, and you are a female. And I really want to make sure, number one, that we are highlighting our female and minority voices in just out there, because a lot of you are having really great success. And the other thing is that lots of the people that are in the group are also in the same kind of space, the same area, not the same sector, but the same consulting and coaching space. So that it's a pleasure for me. Let me thank you for coming on to, for joining me with this conversation, because it's really like an experiment for me. I think it'll be great. And I'm really excited to kind of hear like more about like what you do. So we're going to respect people's time. So I'm kind of, if you're okay with it, I'm just going to kind of go straight into like some of
Sure.
my prepared questions that I had. And the first one is pretty simple. It's, how did you get started in this? Explain what it is you do and how you ended up becoming a consultant in the LinkedIn space, becoming an expert in that.
Well, thank you again, Ryan. It's a pleasure also for me to be here. So yeah, I was laughing. Well, every time when I have this question, how did I start it has been a journey. I started 20 years ago. Well, 19 years ago. I have been an entrepreneur pretty much for these last 20 years. But at the beginning, I was just having new projects, but I didn't know exactly what was my purpose. So what happened is
what were some of the things, can I interrupt? What were some of the things, just out of curiosity, that you were doing in the past? Like what did that, you sound like you have a lot of experience with entrepreneurship.
Yeah, I do. And a lot of failings too.
Okay.
But yeah, I run a cafeteria. I have run a restaurant. I do have it until now. I have a restaurant for 14 years now.
Wow.
I have been in the entertainment industry. I have been in the government.
For everyone out there, tell them where you are.
I'm in Mexico. Morelia is the city.
Morelia,
Michoacan, near to Mexico City.
Okay. And so all the business and everything has been in that area?
most of them, my restaurant is in the north of Mexico, and I'm running it from here, just calling my people, and that's it. Because of the insecurity and their violence issues, we had to move to this city. So I do still run it, but remotely.
I see.
So yeah, I have this blood entrepreneur, and I love this journey of starting new projects and making money also. But yeah, it was like I didn't know exactly what I was good at that point. And everything started, this coaching consulting business, when I started to attend to a self-development organization, and they give me, I learned some tools about self-development. Mm-hmm. So when that happened, there was something about coaching that I loved.
So this was like personal development, mindset.
Yeah.
Type of...
like get to know you better yourself, what you want. More like personal growth. So after 2 years of that, I decided that I wanted to share skills and to share my knowledge with other people. Because for me, when I started 20 years ago, I didn't know anything about business. It was like, okay, let's do it. But without tools, without the knowledge, just the intuition.
Right.
So that's why I decided to start this coaching business. And my niche at that point, it wasn't the same. It was for entrepreneur women. And that's why I also wrote a book last year about my personal journey on the entrepreneur.
What's your book called, and where can people get it? Just so I'm sure people are going to watch this. People that are watching, like, where's her book? I want to know.
Well, it's in Spanish. So,
it's in Spanish.
And you can get it from Amazon. And the name of the book is The Guide for, how can I translate that? The Entrepreneur Guide for Women, something like that. I don't remember.
In Spanish, we have lots of Spanish speakers too. In Spanish, what is the title?
La Guía de la Emprendedora Exitosa.
Okay.
That's
Great.
The title. And you can find it in Amazon. So yeah, that's how I just started with this. I loved to coach, and it was at the beginning, it was for my personal growth. But when I had my first client and I helped him to double his incomes through my expertise and my knowledge, that was like a game changer for me. And it was like a mindset shift. And I said, yeah, this is what I want. I really want to help people.
Let's dive into that, just because it sounds like you've had all this experience. You were doing lots of things, entrepreneur-based things. You had different projects, different businesses in the past, and you reached a point that you were trying to kind of self-improve. You got involved with, personal development, decided to improve like your outlook on things, and then you wrote a book. And then you helped your first client with I guess helped him on, was it through LinkedIn, with his LinkedIn profile? Yeah. How were you doing things? So my question is, how did you hone in? How did you target your niche? Because that's very, very specific. I think what lots of consultants end up doing in the very beginning is they offer so many things, right? They say, I'm going to help you, do this, and I'm going to help you improve your organization. I'm going to help you feel more positive. I'm going to help you pursue your passion. I'm going to help you. And they end up, lots of times when you look at their websites, they talk about everything that they are and everything that they do. How did you develop this concept and this service that was so hyper, streamlined and super targeted? And how is that beneficial, do you think, as opposed to like having a more open kind of all-purpose objective with your business? Which one do you think is better for you, and why?
Okay, so it was because at the beginning I was, like you were saying, too broad. I wasn't sure on where to focus on, with who, with what offer. Everything was like broad, that's the word. And what happened is that I had few clients here in my city, but I couldn't have more clients. And I was struggling with this to build a sales pipeline. So from that point, I decided to change my niche. That was the first thing.
Okay.
The second is that I learned more social selling skills through programs, mentors, and trainings. And what happened is that once that I started to implement all these learnings, I was doing efforts on 2 social medias, on Facebook and LinkedIn.
Okay.
And with Facebook, I didn't see results. Actually, I saw results organically until this past 4 months.
Wow.
But with LinkedIn, during the second week that I started with this exact system that I'm teaching now, I signed up my first client outside of my city. And then another one, and then another one. And it was like, oh my God, this is working very, very nice. It's great.
Wow.
And then I expanded to other countries. Now I have clients in the UK, in Germany, in the US.
Wow.
So that's why, it was like, for me, I tested it first for my business. It worked. And that's when I decided to teach that. And obviously I have been improving this system, because at the beginning it was like, okay, do this, but and then do this with my clients. But the great thing is that they have the same results very fast, usually on the second or third week. So that's how I ended up with this, because I'm not a tech person. So a lot of people think that LinkedIn, you need to be a tech person. It's very complicated. I don't know, many things. And it's not true. It's very easy. But the thing is that people doesn't know how it works, or how they don't see results because something is broken in their funnel.
Right. And so you identified a problem, which was that you weren't getting clients. And so you had done some switching, you were on different platforms, and you decided, let's try a couple. And you tried Facebook, and things were slow. But with LinkedIn, there was something about LinkedIn that was easy for you, or it was a better market, or why was LinkedIn such a great tool compared to Facebook? I think lots of people sometimes are wondering, well, should I market on LinkedIn? Should I market on Instagram? Should I market on Facebook? How did you know, why do you think that you have more success on LinkedIn than on Facebook? Or is it just because you tested it and you don't know why, but that's the platform for you?
No, at the beginning I didn't know why, but obviously now I know why LinkedIn is the best B2B platform. And the first thing is that I was very specific with my client avatar. That's my first recommendation. You need to know who is your client avatar, and if they are spending time on LinkedIn. That's the first thing.
Can you explain to people that don't know what a client avatar is, really?
Yeah, your ideal client. Who's your dream client? You need to be very specific. What is their language? What they do? Are they female or male? What age? How they call themselves? That is a key on LinkedIn. Maybe they are business coaches, or they are consultants, or they are, I don't know. LinkedIn has more than 5 million people members. So you need to understand who is your market, who's your ideal client, first of all. The second thing is that we have tools on LinkedIn to target those people. Like, for example, with Sales Navigator, it becomes much easier to find them. And we don't have that with Facebook. We do, but with Facebook, just with paid advertising.
I see.
Not organically. There are a few other things how you can find them with groups that they don't. If you go and search, I don't know, business consultant, you can find it like that on Facebook. And with LinkedIn, it's very easy to find them. That's the second thing. The third thing is that people on LinkedIn, they are not there for entertainment like Facebook. They are on LinkedIn for business purposes. So they are very used to get pitched with the right pitch, obviously. Mm-hmm. And they are very open to have business conversations. So those
you don't have to entertain them at all. You can just say, this is my service. Do you want to sign up?
Yeah. Well, not like that, obviously, but it's much easier.
And so, got it. So you're leveraging this platform, LinkedIn, and using like an external, is it a tool? You said Sales Navigator that connects with LinkedIn that helps you find the right profile of business people that fit your avatar, so that you can start conversations with them or connect with them.
Yeah, I mean, Sales Navigator is part of LinkedIn. Okay. It's a tool from LinkedIn. You can use the free version, which is LinkedIn, but it's limited to add contacts, and it's limited to find people. So that's why my recommendation is, once that you start using it as a client acquisition system, you need Sales Navigator to have better targeted prospects. But that's just one tool. People use automations also. I don't like automations. Everything what we do with this system is manually, because people know when there is an automation.
Okay, and so like you're talking about like bots and things like that.
Exactly, yeah. So what we do with my business and with my clients is that we are looking for build a relationship and build trust with our prospects. Yeah. That's why
you have to be real.
Exactly. Yeah. You have to be real.
It sounds like it sounds reasonable. People don't want to deal with like, some kind of robot and talk to them. You can always kind of tell when there's a robot on the call. It's like when, not on the call, on the other end, but it's like when you're speaking and calling customer service line, and, it's like, please press 1 or say 1. And you're like, oh, God, like you just are yearning. You want the human contact. You want that other person to connect, to sympathize. Usually, I think it's to sympathize with your problem. And you feel like a robot can't do that. So I always usually just press 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 until finally it says, connecting you with a person. And then finally I'll hopefully speak to a person, but it's getting harder and harder these days to actually speak with people as bots and robo responders and robocalls like become more popular. It seems like being authentic is actually rare. but it's one of the
you need to be open to build this trust and relationship on LinkedIn and on every social media. With Facebook, it's the same. That if you get pitched or if you see that there is a bot, you don't have a lot of conversion rates. So, well, your conversion rates are very low. So yeah, it's part of this system, and everything starts with your LinkedIn profile. Everything. That is the first stage on your sales funnel.
I see. So LinkedIn profile. So,
yeah.
Well, since you're going there, it seems like it would be interesting for me to know what is the system that you have set up, because it doesn't sound like it's a small thing. It's not just like, oh, you send like one little message and then all of a sudden you have a client. It's an actual system that you've developed that helps it. Well, first it started out helping you, and then you decided that this could be beneficial to your own clients. So now what you're actually selling to your clients is this system, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's not like I found the ultimate secret in the world, because it's not like that. And it's simpler than you think, but it's very powerful. So everything, as I said, it starts with your profile. You need an optimized profile. And I still see a lot of people on LinkedIn that they use it like a resume. And they are too broad, they are too self-centered on their profile. So if you have a profile that is not attractive enough, you will lose your prospects.
Right.
So that's why your profile is like your website, it's like your business card presentation.
What's the one piece of advice that you'd give to someone where they should start on their LinkedIn profile? Because I think people get to their LinkedIn profile, and lots of people, if you're like me, it's just been sitting there. And so then when you get to it, you're like, where do I start? What's the most effective thing for me to start doing with my LinkedIn profile?
First of all, your headline.
My headline.
Your headline is super important. Look, I had clients in the past that they found me because they searched on the search engine business coach, and I appeared on the second place. That's why they found me. So why? Because I have keywords on my headline, on my profile, and those keywords, it's like the algorithm, it's like Google. You get positions on your profile, on the platform.
Yeah, right.
So that's why is your headline. It's very, very important how you want to position yourself. But also there, you have to be different, because there are so many people doing the same thing.
Right.
But everything starts there. That's the headline.
And what should your headline, what should your headline tell people? Because, for example, I'm a funnel marketer, so I help people build funnels. Should I just say, Ryan Turner, funnel expert as my headline? Or should I say like who I help? Or should I say what I do?
Okay, yeah. For you, for example, funnel expert, those are two keywords. And I think you should put that, because people that need funnels, they are gonna write funnel experts on the search engine. That's one. Another one, then you can add something like, for example, my headline is LinkedIn mentor, and then business coach in the same headline, and also best-selling author, because I had my book.
Right.
And that's a way of positioning myself in the platform also, which is true.
Right.
So,
right.
You have to find your uniqueness.
Right.
What is
and what are people
why
looking
you are
for?
different? Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So that is the first part. And then the about section, also I can we can share with your audience. I have a PDF with the 7 steps to optimize your profile. And
that would be great.
Yeah, we can do that, because it's
great.
more like, yeah, there are a few things that tips that I will give you in there that to help you to optimize your profile. But at the end, it's very simple. You need to reflect what you are doing and how can you help your prospects, and speak directly to those people. If you're working with coaches and consultants, for example, you have to put it in there. No other people, just for them.
Right.
Yeah, so that's basically how it works.
Wow. Okay. So can you take us through this system from the beginning? So obviously, I'm guessing that the journey for a potential client of yours starts because they've probably searched for you within Sales Navigator. And do they usually initiate a conversation with you, or is it you that's generally initiating a conversation with them? And then what are the steps after that before they become an actual, client of yours and decide to work with you?
Okay, so there are both two sides, two ways of doing this. One, as you said, yes, people can reach out to you if you are well positioned on the platform, as I said, with your profile. If you have the keywords and they are searching for funnel expert and you can appear in the first places, they will reach out to you.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you can have valuable content and through your post, through copywriting, also they can reach out to you.
Right.
So there are different ways of how they can find you. And there is another way for you to find them, which is what you are doing every day. And there is 3 steps for that. Mm-hmm. So basically, what is the outcome of this? You need to have conversations with people every week. You need to book sales calls. How do you do that? Okay, so the first step is to add people every day, but not randomly. People from your target market, your ideal client. That's why it's very important to understand who is your ideal client.
Right. Okay.
What is your niche? Because I get clients that they tell me, I do have a big network, like 8,000 people, but they add those people randomly, so they don't have a targeted audience.
Right. Right.
It's gonna be very
That's
difficult.
how lots of people start out with LinkedIn. I think I just added everyone that I've ever worked with in every company and just like add.
Exactly.
And, okay.
Yeah. So that is, you have to be strategic. Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, you've got to be strategic. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that is the first thing to do every day, to add contacts. Then you are going to, the second step is the messaging. Now that they are your contacts, you are going to knock, I said that, is to knock on their doors, like, hey, I'm Ryan, and I can help you do this. And then you invite them to have a quick chat.
Wow. Okay. So you're doing something here that is the first step out of the norm for, I think, most people that start their businesses, in my opinion, because the way most people start their business is they decide they're going to start with a website, right? So they're going to start with a website, and then they're going to start with a logo, and they're going to find the perfect logo, and then they're going to figure out what looks perfect and most beautiful and try to talk about themselves so that they sound really nice and that they're really professional and that they know everything. And then once it's created, they're going to say, oh, thank you. Okay. And then they're just going to do this.
Now what? Exactly. Yeah.
And they're just going to wait. and wait and hope, and they might send out a Facebook message to their friends or something like that. Hey, I opened up a new website, and then they don't have a client. And then lots of these kind of companies end up, failing. But you've taken it a step further. You said, I'm not going to wait for clients. You're going to go and start conversations directly with them. Exactly. So what are you telling them? You're just telling them what you do, or you're telling them about their, what they want to hear? What is it that they want to hear?
It's both things. It's like the messaging is very, very important, because if you don't know how to craft a powerful message, what could happen is that you can sound salesy or spammy.
Right.
So basically what you are doing on this, you have to think about the other individual, why they should book a call with you. What are you giving them? Because I don't want to waste my time with someone that is just to have a conversation or a chit chat.
Right.
So you have to reflect.
Be valuable.
Yeah, that you can add value for them and being open to hear more. So that's key too. So that is, it's when everything starts to happen. And once that they say yes, this is a games number too. Like, for example, if you send 10 messages and no one replies to you, it's a games number. Not everyone is going to be interested. That's what I'm trying to say. Not everyone is going to be interested in your service.
Right.
But there are numbers. At least you need 20% conversion rates.
Of people that engage with you.
Exactly. Yeah. At least.
So if for every 10 people that you send a message to, 2 people should respond.
Exactly. At least.
Yeah.
If they are not responding, there is something wrong with your messaging or with your profile.
Wow. So many gold nuggets here. Everyone that's watching this, please. 20% conversion rate. Okay. That's I guess what we would call your engagement rate, right? They would need you need 20% engagement.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes. So what is the next step? They are open to have a conversation with you, great, but it's gonna be a discovery call. It's not going to be a sales call like that. What is a discovery call? It's a quick 15-minute chat to qualify them and to warm them up. Because go ahead. What is it?
Yeah, no, exactly. I know exactly what qualifying a lead or qualifying a prospect is, because I worked for many years in sales. But for people that are watching this right now that don't know what this means, and since I really can't see the chat here because we're in Zoom, what does this mean, qualifying a lead? Does this mean like, well, they fit my avatar, isn't that enough?
Yes and no.
Okay.
First of all, you need to ask the right questions for, like, if they really need your help. The first thing. The second is that, yeah, if they are ready to buy, like,
I see.
Yeah, because only 3%, I think it's 3% of the target of the market are ready to buy
at any given moment. Yeah, I've heard that.
Exactly. So yeah, you and also this is something that I learned, because in the past I was making phone calls, but right now all my discovery calls are with Zoom, because that helps me to build relationship with them,
right?
To build trust.
And people are much more accustomed to Zoom in the last 3 to 4 months than they were before. So now it's kind of, if you don't do Zoom, people are also a little bit like, well, why are you not on Zoom?
Exactly. Yeah. So it's just 15 minutes, and then you're qualifying them if they are a good fit for your offer, and at the end, if they are open to hear more details. You never give price, you never go through more details, just a high view of your service.
Mm-hmm. But however, you do ask them about budget, don't you, in your qualifying questions? Or
Well, not, but if they ask for pricing, I give them a range of
okay.
what is my prices if they want to work with me,
Right.
to get an idea.
Or
Because
is earning, like, do you ask about income questions on your qualification? Okay, so income or revenue
yeah,
is important.
yeah. So yeah, and once that they say, okay, yes, let's have a second conversation, then there you have a solid sales call.
Right.
Okay, so that's the end of the funnel, the solid sales call. And obviously, well, there is another way of converting a stranger. There is another system through that sales call to convert them into paying clients. And forgot this. After you booked this solid sales call, I send them an email to warm them up with like the framework of my program, client testimonials, a master class, and those kind of things to help them to get me to know me better.
Yeah. Got it. So it's really about, like you said, I think the key takeaways from that system is messaging, definitely messaging. But before your messaging, you need to be able to identify your avatar, your target market. So you need to have that needs to be done before you begin messaging anybody. You need to at least know in order to test the message.
Yeah.
So then you message, and then you message and you message, and you try to get a 20% engagement rate with people that you are talking to, so that you want 2 out of every 10 people that you send any type of correspondence to, you want them to at least respond.
Yeah.
And then of those people, some of those people will schedule a call with you. And of those people, you'll qualify a certain percentage of them, and some of those people will end up going through a more in-depth strategy sales call with you, a strategy session.
Yeah.
And then on the strategy session which is where you actually use is it a script?
Yes, it's
right.
a script.
I'm sure it's internalized now at this point because you know exactly the flow.
Yeah.
But you know there's a specific pattern to the way that you direct the call. It's not just, hey, so are you ready to work? Okay. And it's not like this. It's not like me and you right now. No. Tell people the difference between a sales call and a conversation.
Yeah. No, it's not a conversation, because actually I don't want to waste my prospects' time and my time. So, and I let them know during the discovery call that it's going to be a sales call, that I'm going to offer them something at the end of the call.
Mm-hmm. That's key. I remember when I went through this as a sales person, and that was one of the hardest things psychologically for me to do, because we don't want to come off salesy. So then it's like, well, that means I can't say that I'm selling anything at any point of any conversation. So then you have these conversations that go on forever about anything and everything that doesn't have to do with your service, about, how you're going to help them, about pricing, which is a question that people get up, they get worried about. Yeah. So it sounds like you've got like a whole system. And so by the time that they're ready to work with you, it sounds like they've got a very good idea of how you can help them, what type of relationship you're going to have with them while you're working together.
Yeah.
and also what results they can kind of expect, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's key also. During the call, the part where, and this is something that I help my clients also with their offers, because a lot of people don't know how to communicate their service, the value that they are adding. So, and the results, obviously, that you are helping them to achieve.
Right.
So that's the part where you are delivering your offer during the sales call.
Wow. So this is exactly like a funnel in many ways. I would call it a funnel myself because I have a very malleable interpretation of funneling and of funnels in general. But you have all of the elements that I would use in a funnel for any client of mine, because you're taking them through all of the stages of what a funnel is. And that's the most important thing. It's like this triangle. And the first stage at the top, before anyone knows who you are, is the stage that we call awareness. So those are the very beginning stages of any conversations that you have. You're just giving people, and I guess the awareness stage for you in your system would be the profile, the actual LinkedIn profile. And that's where people can understand kind of who you are and what you do and how you help people. And then consideration is the second stage of the funnel. And consideration is the stage where people are familiar maybe with who you are and what you do, but they need some type of trust in order to really think about working with you seriously. And in your case, it sounds like that's when you begin to open up a conversation with them. And that conversation, what it does is you're telling them more about what you do, but it's also, you said it, you give them trust, right? You're trying to create that relationship. And then the last stage is the conversion. So by the time you actually get on the sales call, you've already developed a relationship with you, and they're much more ready. So this is exactly like a funnel, but the cool thing is for your business, you've done it all on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Without actually even needing to have a like landing page or a website. Right. So you just can actually build a business, build a 6-figure business by using these techniques and just sticking to it. And actually it sounds like a lot of work and a lot of persistence.
Yeah, actually, because I have been testing many hours to come out with the best system with the best conversion rates. It was a lot of work in the past, but now it's like a machine, organically. And the great thing is that once that you master this system, then I recommend people, my clients, to hire a VA.
Right.
To do the work for them, and you just take the calls.
Right.
And actually we do that too. There's another side of my business, which I offer my clients to do the work for them if they want, because some people don't want to invest time really in learning and in testing in all the process. So because they are very busy, or maybe they have another job or whatever. So we offer that too. But for my clients, once that they understand and they are having good results, they can hire someone to do the work for them.
I see.
I mean, I can hire my daughters to do this because it's very simple once that it's working.
Right. Once you know the mechanics, and you can just, tell them, okay, this is step 1, step 2, step 3. Okay. Wow. That's incredible. What is one thing that your clients, once they begin, what do you think is one thing that people seem to misunderstand about business before they actually start working with you? Because obviously they're in some type of pain, they're in some type of position where they want to improve because they're either having, suffering from something, or they have a greater desire to either get more clients or break a certain, revenue threshold or expand their business. What is it that you think people always seem to misunderstand about business? What do you always correct? Like they get to you and you're like, oh.
Yeah. Business foundations. It's about
Foundation.
business. Yeah, the foundations. They know, they have an idea. They have been in business for a long time, but they still sound too broad. They still sound like everyone else. They don't know how to communicate their difference in the market. And basically that is the main issues that I see with my clients. They want to offer their services to a very broad market, and they are not specific. They are not like the experts to go in the market.
Right. Wow. Okay. So what do you think would be, the most important thing for you over this, journey of business? What's the most important thing that you've learned, and what's the best advice that you could give to someone that's kind of starting? Because in international funnel community, we have a varied amount of people, not an amount, a varied, let's say, very different profiles of people and different backgrounds. And lots of them are starting where you were. They found like a niche that they're maybe have some expertise in, and they want to start coaching either groups or individuals, but they're either not getting enough clients, or they get oversaturated with like one client and then they can't handle more. What is your biggest learning thing that you've had over the last, over your years of business? And what's your piece of advice to people that are just kind of starting this?
Well, if I can say the biggest, and I think we were saying that in the past conversations that we had, is that in my case, I wasn't used to, I used to fail a lot, but I took that as a failure and not as a learning. Mm-hmm. And with that, I couldn't improve my processes because I didn't want to see my failure.
So you just did things safely.
Exactly. Like, okay, or if I fail, okay, no, I'm not going to try that anymore because I failed.
Yeah.
And that didn't allow me to grow. Now I'm more vulnerable. I feel like, I'm failing, I'm learning, and I'm going to improve. So the entrepreneur journey is about failing and about learning and about getting feedback and readjusting and improving.
Wow.
So that is the biggest lesson I had. I'm still struggling with the failure programming that I have, but I know that it's just go for it. And if you fail, just do it again and again and again, and you will get better and better. At the beginning, LinkedIn for me was like, I didn't know anything about LinkedIn.
Right.
So you have to start at one point. And the second thing that I really want to share is that we have to enjoy our processes. In the past, I was so attached to the outcome. I want to hit that number. I want to hit that income. And I was forgetting about all the process, all the journey, and I wasn't enjoying it.
Yeah.
And And even that it's something that I love, and even that I was doing good and great, I wasn't enjoying it. I was overworking. I wasn't, but it's a process again. So to be more present and to connect with your vision, that maybe you can see that in the next weeks where you want to be, where you will be. If you continue and you're consistent, you will be in that place in the future.
Amazing. Well, we've covered so much in our conversation. I think you're probably going to get a lot of PMs after this about people that want to know about you and know about what you do. I'll make sure that I do follow up and get the document that you mentioned so that we can share it with the group. I think that'd be super, super useful, as well as I've even kind of thought about possibly mapping out visually the process, like using a funnel map software that I use, and mapping out visually your client process, like your funnel map. That's what I call it. And I think I will try to do that and attempt it, and then I'll confer with you, and if we can get something visual out for people so they can see like the step-by-step process, then I can't promise it, but I will try to put it out there, and we can like share it with the group for resources, because that's all what this is about. This is about sharing experiences, sharing resources, sharing expertise in order to really strengthen those relationships with our prospects, because that's what a funnel is in the end. It's relationship building. And in the end, that's what looks like what you're doing, like to the max, relationship building with people on LinkedIn. So Paloma, thank you so much. Muchas gracias. Thank you from Madrid. And I really appreciate you taking the time to share your story, share your expertise with us. And I guess for anyone that needs to reach out to you, they can do so in the group. Is there any other ways that they should find you on LinkedIn or Facebook or Google or anything like that?
No, Google not yet. Okay. But yeah, of course, Facebook, LinkedIn, my email. And if you have any questions about this, or you're struggling with a specific thing, feel free to reach me out. I'm very open to have this kind of conversations and help you, of course.
Great. Thank you so much, Paloma, for being here and for joining us. And I really appreciate it. And yeah, so thanks again.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.